Are you tired of dealing with pesky collections on your credit report? Do you feel like they're holding you back from getting approved for a car or a house? Well, don't worry. We've all been there, and I certainly have, and I've got the answers you need. In this video, I'm going to reveal the top hack for removing collections from your credit report fast and without paying the debt at all. So let me help you take control of your credit score today. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Andy from Credit Sage. With over 2,000 reviews for a 4.9 out of 5 Trustpilot rating, we're your best bet to achieve your credit goals and reclaim your financial freedom. And trust me, today we have got a tip for you that you don't want to miss. So let's get right to it. All right, so today I'm going to cover all the bases. So let's start at the very beginning. What exactly is a collection and why are you seeing them on your credit report? Well, a collection is a piece of debt that's on your credit report that was bought by a collection agency. All right, simple enough. The thing to remember is that before a debt goes into collections, it will first go into a default status. This means that there have been a series of late payments that have not been getting paid. And as a result, your creditor will likely send your account to a collection agency. And that's when things get a bit tricky. Collections hurt your credit score, yes, but it's not just the collections themselves. The poor payment history that originally caused the default will also drag down your score. Now, needless to say, this is a big weight on your credit report. So, the first thing you should know is that you mustn't admit to the debt. Now, I know this sounds strange, but the reason for this is that the burden of proof is on the agency, not on you. So, to make sure it stays on them, don't admit to anything. Don't make their job easy. As tough as this sounds, your job should be to make them spend as much money as possible investigating this debt. The aim is to push it to the point where the agency decides that it's simply not worth it to them and they remove it. So right now, you have all the leverage, and admitting to the debt gives that away. You know, a lot of time getting items removed from your credit report depends majorly on the burden of proof, which right now is on them. The more you leverage that and the more leverage you get, the easier it will be to get the items removed from your credit report. Now, there's more than one way to go about this. First and foremost, the best option for you is to skip the stress and reach out to us at Credit Sage to do this for you. You know, you could save yourself the time and hassle of learning to do it properly or facing the possibility that you could miss something crucial in all the steps that it takes. Instead, simply hand it over to the professionals like us, as we do this day in and day out and know exactly what to look for. So you can contact Credit Sage by calling the number in the description below. So then there's option 2, which is what a lot of people think is a good option, and that is to pay it off. But it's actually not. And the reason is because paying the collection does not necessarily remove it from your credit report. It just zeroes out the balance. Now, what happens when you pay a debt that has gone to collections is that the collection agency will simply update the status to paid and move on to the next account. Now, the reason for this is that the agencies have to pay a fee to put items on your credit report, and they also have to pay to take items off your credit report. You see, from their perspective, it makes sense to pay the fee to put the collections on your credit report because it gives them leverage to make you want to pay and remove it from your credit report. However, they have no obligation to cover the extra fee to remove it just because you paid. So when you pay off a collection, it's like you're letting the credit bureau and all the agencies know that you're perfectly fine with the debt remaining on your credit report. So what do you do in that case? To get the debt removed, you'll need to negotiate a pay for delete agreement. This is a document that states that the collection agency will remove the debt from your credit report in full instead of just updating the status to paid. You see, settling your debt will help your credit score and your profile in the long term. It'll also help your relationship with the collection agency. You'll evade illegal actions and extra fees and look better to lenders. It'll also stop the agency from calling you, which can be very annoying. But it won't necessarily heal your credit because the debt could still be present as a line on your credit report for up to a number of years. Essentially, the history will still be there. Now, there are certainly some scenarios where all you need to do is show that the credit is paid. But those are really specific situations. And what I want to do is help you today is know how to remove the collections completely. So as I mentioned earlier, leverage plays a big part in the actual process as it has to do with finding errors or discrepancies in the credit report. To start with, you're going to have to gather all data related to the debt. This includes how much is owed, how old the debt is, who currently owns it, things like that. And what you're doing is you're hunting for inaccuracies you can use as leverage to dispute the collections. Through this, you may ultimately get the agency to remove the item from your credit report. Which brings us to what this video is all about. The number one best hack to remove collections from your credit report is to look out for charge-offs. A charge-off is a debt that the creditor has given up on collecting because the borrower has become delinquent. But it doesn't mean the debt is completely gone. Rather, the creditor crosses the consumer's debt as uncollectible and marks it on the credit report as a charge-off. Now, in situations like this, if the collection owes a creditor such as Capital One, they could tell the company that they cannot pay the full amount because you owe them as well. I'll give you an example. Let's say Capital One is owed $1,500 and you owe the collection agency $500. In this case, the agency will not pay the full $1,500 to Capital One, but rather just pay $1,000 and write off the $500. This is important to understand when trying to remove debt from your credit report, as it may impact the creditor's willingness to negotiate or remove the debt from your credit report. And that $500 would then be a charge-off on your account. Now here's the fun part. Once they do that, your charge-off balance is supposed to be zero. When disputing a charge-off on your credit report, the first thing you should check for is a zero balance. If one credit report shows a zero balance and another shows a balance, be sure to take a screenshot and highlight the inconsistencies on all three credit reports. Now, once you have carried out all the proper research, collected all the appropriate information, gathered the evidence, you will send all of this to the credit bureau with a detailed dispute letter. Now, one thing I want to mention about this is if you go down this route, be sure to send all of this as certified mail. This will give you tracking to ensure everything is delivered on time and into the correct hands. Now don't worry, if you're listening to all this and feeling a bit overwhelmed or just don't have the time to invest in learning how to do this properly, I refer you back to option one. Give us a call. We can take care of this for you. We offer a quick and easy phone consultation, then signing up only takes a few minutes and we can get started right away going after creditors and bureaus in your stead, taking care of every step of the way so you don't have to worry about it. If you found this video helpful, please show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel for new videos each week. Thanks so much for watching.